some, get some, bad enough, take some.
Have you ever been to the planetarium to see the laser light show?
Long time ago. A long time ago back.
So fun.
Back when dinosaurs roamed the planet, and a man was a man, a caveman, and a woman was a beautiful creature they worshipped. And he carried a club, a strong club, for this woman, despite her breaking all his toys. And
Is that the Undertaker?
Taker can't take a bump.
good bump. Destroyed the taker.
Okay.
Good. Episode 17?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that was all usable. Okay.
All right. Ready? Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Ready? And welcome back to Fangin and Bangin with Gangrel and Kid Cadet. It's episode 17. And we're going to try to get through this episode. Now, I know you don't want to hear about all my personal problems. I came on here last week crying that I am tired. But I don't know, but I'm actually more exhausted this one than I was the last one. But that's enough of my boo-hoo and crying. How are you, Mr. Kid Cadet?
I am also tired, but I'm excited to be here as always. And this past weekend was Florida Supercon, so I got to do FSCW as a new character, Harley Quinn, and it was much fun.
Right. How was that? Good.
It was great. Surprisingly, I was a little cautious, or maybe cautious isn't the right word. I was a little I was preparing to be underwhelmed by the size of the audience because I didn't know how the convention would be, but we packed the place for 3 nights in a row, so it was pretty awesome.
It seems like things are getting packed everywhere now. Glancing at Raw, the Boston Garden looked full.
Totally.
So, they're panning to the audience. There's masks hanging off, beer in the air. I'm from Boston, motherfucker. We rage and we party and we kill and we destroy. And we start over again in the morning and go to work. And
that is
do it
so
all
Boston.
over. It's so Boston. I love Boston. Kowloon's, you ever go there?
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's tremendous. Greatest Chinese food. Scorpion Bowl.
I was actually talking to one of my girlfriends about that place the other day. I got to go with Mick a couple times, and I remember in the green room or whatever, they were like, what do you want? And they would bring us so much stuff. Best wonton soup I've ever had.
Yeah, that place is tremendous. If you get to Boston, you got to go there. Go check it out. Yeah.
I think it's in
Revere or somewhere.
It's a little outside of Boston, not Sagas. Maybe it is Sagas.
Yeah,
Sagas.
Yeah, all I know is there's a crazy divider in the middle of the road, so you can't cross over that road. You can't. You got to go like 20 miles to make a U-turn to come back around to it, or what? Across the bridge, come back. But I stayed in a hotel not too far across the street from it. But I had no success at trying to climb that road divider. There's a concrete wall
can't do
and
it.
a fence. I much imagine probably like the Berlin Wall was back in the day, trying to get to the other side. It's not happening. I'm like, I don't have a car, and I didn't know much about Ubers back then and stuff like that. I don't even know if there was an Uber back then or Lyft or any of this other fancy stuff you young folks take nowadays. But
us and our Uber, Stubers.
But I definitely couldn't get over the wall. So that's good. I'm glad. So the crowd was good. The attendance was well.
Great crowd.
What was the just because I'm curious, I wasn't there, and I could just drop that. I trended one time there, Again, I think we did that.
You don't say.
With Jeffrey,
yeah,
I think we did 7 million views or something. No, 80 million views.
It was a lot.
Reginald and his flips and stuff. I think they hit 80 million views on TikTok with WWE. WWE says we'd like to thank you for us, but it was Reginald, not WWE, that did the flip. But WWE was taking the credit for it. But they probably did set the trampoline thing up, and they did hire him, and they're probably paying him ridiculous money, and they did make him the 24/7 champion. So they're probably rewriting the skits. So I guess they get the credit for the 80 million. So
okay, sure, we'll give them credit.
Right. But 80 million, my 7 million, that doesn't match up a lot, but still was something. It was cool. So what was your experience?
Well, Jeffrey did make his triumphant return.
Did he?
Yeah, he also knocked down the pipe and drape as he was trying to come. I mean, he's a
Was it the infamous Eddie Torres?
Eddie was not there. It was actually Milo Beasley. Am I allowed to say that? Yeah, it was Milo inside of Mr.
Which one's Milo?
He's part of Bums Are Us.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we had Mickey Mouse show up to cut a promo on Black Widow, which was really fun.
Mickey that rat?
I mean, do you know the whole thing going on with Scarlett Johansson and Disney Plus?
No. What's
Long
wrong with
story
Scarlett? What does
short-
Scarlett Johansson do? How could she get heat?
Long story short, she signed something before Black Widow came out that she would get a percentage of the in-theater sales as part of her salary. But because they also put it on Disney Plus, it didn't do very well in theaters.
Because it was out there on Disney Plus.
So she sued Disney.
Do you think she should have?
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. You know what? I understand.
She's got a good
very
argument
wealthy.
because if she cut a deal thinking it's going to go to theaters first,
Yep.
and they blast it out on Disney Plus, which you could just get for $20 a month or something and watch all the time, or whatever the deal is with Disney Plus. I don't know.
$10.
It's like a premium channel, right? Mm-hmm. So like HBO Max, correct?
Right.
So yeah, I'd be pretty high.
Well, the debate is they're like, Scarlett, you realize it's a pandemic, so you're really going to like be upset about everything going on in the world.
She's going to be, yes, because I have a mansion I got to pay for in this pandemic, so yes.
I know.
And I bought a mansion counting on the sales from this movie, so yes, I have an issue.
Which is pregnant, you know, she got to feed
Oh,
another
it's
baby.
the babies. Oh,
Yeah, you know, there's a lot happening here.
No, I might side with her a little bit because, or they should have reached out and said, this is what's going to happen. We're going to cut you another check.
They
Can
did
we
not
settle
do
on
that.
that? Maybe that would have settled it all there. Or at least she would have felt like, hey, they consulted with me and I had a say in what.
Yeah, that didn't happen, but so that was the big thing. So we had Mickey Mouse show up and asked her to join the Kiss My Hiney Club, and like he came out like Vince McMahon, and it was pretty fun.
So very cool. So just much like when I did the thing with Jeffrey, Amazon Prime just pretty much rubbed out Toys R Us with all their online sales, this and that.
Exactly.
So, and they set it up very clever, very clever. And who wrote this and who came up with this? Can we give credit to anybody?
I absolutely can. My husband.
Jude, I certainly wasn't Chamberlain. I'm not going to give Alex Chamberlain any credit.
Alex
on anything.
did-
Yeah.
Alex did wonderful this weekend, as always. He was
So
peacemaker.
Jude wrote it? Came up with it?
He sure
Kiss My
did.
Hiney Club.
Yeah.
Friggin' rat Mickey got his Heineken.
But also, I wanted to give a shout out because quite a few of your students did debut this weekend, and they did a phenomenal job. We had Ozzy Killmeister, and we have Steve back.
What was he, a Fraggle Rock character or something?
They were the they were the TVA, so they were the timekeepers from the new Loki series.
Okay.
They did great, and then also
Obviously, by the look on my face, if you're watching this on YouTube, you realize I have no idea what the flip
That's
she's
okay.
talking
Whoever's
about.
watching will know. They'll know.
So you're saying, so it was Ozzy was a timekeeper and who?
Ozzy and Steve.
So they were like pretty much homeless looking people, these timekeepers?
Essentially.
Scruffy, bearded,
Scruffy, yep.
short, fat, tall and fat. Well, I'm the Steve. It's not that easy,
Hey.
Steve. Easy, Steve. You drink too many IPAs on your weekends.
Oh,
So
okay.
you get a little, but he's got some scruffy hair going on too. So they're both.
They did great, and then Will
Okay.
was our Deadpool, and he did phenomenal. I mean,
Okay. Let me ask you, Will Damian Fenrir, right? So, Deadpool. Doesn't Deadpool wear a full bodysuit? Mm-hmm. So you said, mm-hmm. So Will's got a pretty good body for a dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got abs. Mm-hmm. He looks a lot like Superman, sort of. He could be a
he's
Costa
in
Rica
shape.
Superman.
He's in shape.
Right? So you put a bodysuit on him? How's that work?
So, you know, it's a tough character to be because you have to have like a certain
Ryan
personality.
Reynolds was the original.
Yes.
And he's not known to be a body guy, right?
Well, Ryan is
he?
he's fit.
No, I don't know. I'm asking.
Oh yeah, he's fit, but it takes.
Yes, about Scarlett Johansson.
Sure. But you really have to be a certain type of wrestler to be able to pull off Deadpool. And Jake Manning, who was unavailable this weekend, he had other bookings. Always did a phenomenal job.
Are you telling me Damian Fenrir delivered in a Jake Manning type of way?
1,000,000%. I've never I thought he nailed it.
So I personally found Damian Fenrir, always thought he had like a chip on his shoulder. So the Deadpool character was a dude that was definitely had a chip on his shoulder. He was wanting to die all the time, or he was dead. What's the deal with Deadpool?
He can regenerate and stuff like
He can
that.
regenerate,
Yeah.
but how did he end up?
Cancer.
Cancer. So okay.
Yeah.
So he freaking got a chip on his shoulder for life.
You would, you could
Okay.
say that.
All right, so that suits Will probably. So he
He
naturally
did
probably fit that
phenomenal.
asshole spot.
Well, but it's hard to emote when you're wearing not only a bodysuit but a mask. I mean, and he
No.
was great. Everyone was great. It was a really
Much
successful
in
weekend.
wrestling. Yeah, I do understand that. And Will, if you're listening, and I know you're not because you show no love or put any interest in anything outside of your own self.
Damn.
No, he's self-centered, you know. But no, he spends a lot of time. He has a beautiful daughter and everything. He's a great dad. He's always working. He trains really, really hard. Raymond's gonna call me up later. You know what Raymond's gonna call? He's gonna go, I have to edit that. why would you edit? He says, I don't really want you to look bad. He how many of these I get? And he goes,
I don't get the messages.
He says, I'm going to cut that out. So thank you, Raymond, for cutting my stuff out. So, no, but for the right reasons, not the bad reasons. I don't know what else he cuts out because I don't remember what the hell I said. So it's like when a show comes on and I do listen to it. This is the first one I missed this past weekend. I have no idea. It's like I'm listening to it. I'm like, oh.
It was like
where am I going to go with that? And I go, oh, thank you. I didn't tell the total truth. I just held back. So,
well, I have to say that quite a few people did come up to me this weekend to say how much they really have been enjoying this podcast. So
very cool.
Thank you guys for letting me know so I can pass it on to the main man right here. And it feels really good to hear that.
Is there another guy in here?
That's you.
No, the man.
And Undertaker.
The Undertaker took a bumper. They saw how much you cared about him. You backhanded him right off the shelf. Boom. Raymond almost cried because, Raymond put that there. You see how, if you look at the Undertaker where he is up here, if you watch the thing, Undertaker's looking right across at Raymond. Raymond put that there so him and the Undertaker could have eye contact. Yeah. So they can have personal moments and stuff throughout this thing. I don't know what Mick's doing. It looks like he's going, suck it to you.
Oh.
Yeah,
there he is.
And then Kane's just being creepy over your shoulder.
Love him.
Yeah. And
still can't see Cena.
I don't, Bray Wyatt or The Fiend or whatever it is.
What's this one?
Oh, is that the Joker or something?
No, that's a character from Death Note. It's an anime.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Death Note. I got a Death Note for you, Raymond.
What is it?
Yeah, wait for it. I'm going to mail it out.
Oh, you're going to snail mail it?
I'm not going to sing a note. It's not a singing note. Fuck you, Raymond. That was a Death Note. Breaking glass. That's what you get when you get me in here on like 3-4 hours of sleep.
I know.
So Unmasking, I'm sorry, went all over the place. But Will, good job. Glad they did well. Thank you for the report on them. I'm always proud of all of them when they do a good job. Ozzy Killmeister, Steve, two great dudes. Actually, three. Will too. They're all three great human beings. Will, I can see doing the Deadpool with the chip on. He doesn't have a chip, but it comes across like that. He comes across without the mask because he's actually really, really good looking, and he can come across a bit arrogant because you can look at him and think, oh, this Jose Canseco jerk, Here he comes, but he's an athletic guy, comes from a background. What a lot of people don't know about Will is if you follow baseball, his uncle was known as the what was he called, Nicaraguan Nightmare. He pitched a perfect game for the Baltimore Orioles, I believe, against the Dodgers. He's like not even five people in a hand. He might be the only the Latin that have ever pitched a perfect game. So, and his dad played for, I believe his dad played for the Montreal Expos too.
Oh, cool.
So he comes from an athletic background, so he understands the hard work and discipline that's got to go on and stuff. But he doesn't want to ride the thing. He never brings any of that up. Never brings none of that up. He doesn't tell anybody. I had to drive that out of him, Actually, Susan knew like Dennis Martinez, his uncle, right away. She goes, "Your uncle's Dennis Martinez," because Susan's an avid Yankees fan.
Is she?
But they never told us. So she's baseball.
Wow.
So she knew right away. Jimmy Janetti found out right away. They both like, "What do you mean your uncle's this?" But he doesn't tell anybody any of this. He's trying to make his own name.
I respect that.
His own way, not in professional baseball. I think he played high school basketball well enough to go to college for that too, but he chose I don't know what he was thinking. He chose to become a wrestler. So, but I'll guide him on his journey the best I can. I mean, I think the baseball is the way you go. You get so many crazy year deals for $300 million if you're great. I mean, that seems to be the sport to want to excel in and have longevity. But he's choosing professional wrestling. So on that note, sorry, dude. At the same time, I'm there with you on your journey, and I'll live through you. So keep doing good. Thank you for the good report on it. But to get back to the mask thing, as you're saying how hard it is to pull something off in a mask.
Well, you would know.
You're right. So is the black hearts, everything in wrestling under a mask, especially if you have a mask with no face and no eyes, like I guess a Spider-Man. Deadpool doesn't have a face, right? So it's just
he has like the eye holes.
Is there eye holes on
it?
Okay, that's but it's hard to see your expressions and stuff. So everything has to be done through body movement and mannerisms. So it's got to be over the top. Everything has to be. With people wrestling in masks, it's probably why you don't see that many that are great anymore. Like there's the masked superstars. One of the best one was Mr. Wrestling, Mr. Wrestling 1 and 2, both of them. They had to be so pantomime before they would do like a knee lift and stuff like that. You just have to sell so much with your body and know your way around the ring to be able to connect with people and draw them in to keep wanting to watch you, or even to get sympathy under a mask. They can't see, your facial expressions and pain, hurt, anger, anything. So it's really, really hard to work under a mask. So I'm glad. It tells me that the stuff I do see in him that you're telling me he's able to pull it off under a mask, that I have a lot of hope for him. Right?
Yeah, we'll have to show you some footage. There's lots of it. So.
But I don't want to see Steve and Ozzy.
You don't want to see them? No. What about Juan? Juan did great
Steve was not in class, and Will was not in class. But Will's usually a Tuesday, Wednesday guy. Ozzy Killmeister was in class. So he was there to set the rings up. He came a little late with Lakai. But somebody told me Lakai, so I know we're supposed to be talking about a lot of things, but Lakai.
We'll get there.
All right, so Lakai, somebody told me he was supposed to do the Luke Cage.
He was.
And he didn't know anything about it.
What?
I asked him, I said, aren't you booked this week? He goes, no, they never called me. He is not an internet guy. He's not an internet guy. He's not this and this and that. He's the kind of guy that you got to come up and say, hey, your book, because like we forced him to get Facebook just to get into a student group. So he has these Instagrams and all these things now, but he just has no idea on how to do. So who booked him? Like,
we'll talk about it when the camera's on.
Well, I bet it was a Chamberlain job. Because I love Alex Chamberlain, but he booked me one time for Raleigh, Virginia, and something. And then when them shows came around, but Broder confirmed it. That guy Broder confirmed it. And when it came around, there was no shows with the Vampire. But I was blessed enough to have shows somewhere else. So I was always working. So always
too blessed to be stressed.
Too blessed to be stressed. There's a shirt. I can put that right up there in my MC Hammer stuff. Too blessed to be stressed. Too blessed to be stressed. We could get something going there. That's a good TikTok. Too blessed to be stressed.
Yeah, go ahead, Raymond. Curious to see that.
If I had time today, Raymond, I literally would go outside and say, let's shoot a TikTok. We'll get a little dance going. We'll be too blessed to be stressed.
Let's do it.
To be stressed.
Can we do the MC Hammer dance?
We have any parachute pants? Or what did he wear? Like,
yeah, parachute pants. Yeah. It's like, I can't do it sitting down.
It's hammer time. Okay. All right. So where are we at? Where are we going? Give me some direction.
Okay.
Miss Kid Cadet.
Absolutely. Last night, big night.
Raw. Okay, because it is Tuesday. Yeah, Raw.
Yeah. It is Tuesday right now. So last night
Tuesday, but I don't know what day you're listening to this because Raymond will
Raymond, what day?
He's gone from Sunday to a Saturday to a Friday to like I don't know where we're gonna figure it out. I'm thinking you're liking Fridays, but I think it comes down to his work schedule too. Like,
which is fine. Look, we're not complaining. Raymond's doing a phenomenal job,
and there's a lot of compliments on your set. And I try to tell him that we're in a shed in the backyard somewhere, and they don't believe me. No, everybody they love the set. People always compliment
new photos.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We finally put up the other Bigfoot one.
Sorry, I don't remember what girl gave this to me. And
shout out to you.
Shout out to the girl in Harrisburg, I believe. Maybe Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Maybe definitely was PA. Definitely Pennsylvania, but
it's gorgeous.
It might have been Harrisburg. I don't know. Hey, where do you come from, man? Like, listen, I told you no sudden movements when I'm tired.
Leave this in. Don't take that out. Leave that in.
Raymond, we've spoke about this.
So big moment last night or Monday, whenever you guys are watching this. We have a new champion.
That's bullshit.
Why? Okay, anyway, it's Big E. Big E's our new champion.
No, I like Big E, and he was dressed as me in the Halloween thing, and it's very cool. And I like him, but I don't know, man. I guess I'm not writing the storyline, so maybe I'm too tired. I'm not really following them good enough, but like, but I just saw a clip. I didn't get to see that. I only made it up to Damian Priest's match, right? So I seen him open the show at Raw with Bobby Lashley. MVP, who was just over at CCW and did a great seminar. I was gone somewhere working. I don't know where I was, but he oh no, I went to a concert.
The Black
went to the Black Crows.
Did you have so much fun?
Yeah, it was great. Black Crows are great. So I did dip out and go to a concert and I missed him, but he came by CCW and did a seminar. So thank you to him. Always giving back to his alma mater where he comes from, out where he trained and stuff like that. Very class act coming back giving out. So I was happy to see. So he did the seminar night after Raw, right? So. The winner in Miami. So I'm always happy when they open the show because he could talk. I told you he could connect to the crowd, this and that. So you come on with Lashley, and then like my new favorite tag team is what do you call it? Arcade Bro? Or
you love them.
What is it called?
Arcade Bro.
Arcade Bro, right?
You got it.
I love that. See, I told you I liked Matt Riddle. I was told you I was never a giant Randy Orton fan, but now I'm a huge Randy Orton fan. Why is with Matt Riddle as a tag team? I just like it. I don't know why, but I like it. I dig it. Like
I always like the juxtaposition of like two complete polar opposites teaming
but like,
up.
Yeah, but I thought when I was watching the show, I actually watched it this morning before I came here, like 6 a.m. I was I didn't get very far.
That's
but,
too early for
but yeah, when I was watching it, I thought I even heard Randy Orton go, bro. Like he started to say, I thought I heard that, and I go, did Randy Orton just drop a bra? Did he just drop a bra?
Yeah.
like when he was talking to Lashley or something. But I liked, that they were out there and there was exchange, and you had Big E, and I didn't know where it was going to go. I mean, I'm assuming, I didn't know if they were teasing. I was hoping it was just a tease, but apparently, I
what? Like, what don't you like about Big E? There has to be something. What is it?
I don't. It's all right. You want to be honest?
Yes, that's why we're here.
It's the flipping bootios and all the comedy. It's just hard for me.
It's the comedy.
Even though I wrestle as a vampire, I am not a comedy. When I have to do a match, the comedy just takes stuff away. Mm-hmm. Like Simbodi will tell you, like he does all this character stuff with bowling balls and sledgehammers to your nuts and different things. And when he does matches with Simbodi, the firecrackers and tie on you. But he'll always say, I'm so sorry, Dave. Thank you for doing this. I know you hate this stuff. And I don't use hate much, but because it's a very strong word. But I do strongly dislike comedy. I don't like it. Although, I should accept comedy because in my older age, the more grizzled I get, that might be all I can pull off. So, I'm literally a comedy act trying to walk to the ring. It's a limp. It's not swag. It's a limp. That's grizzle. That's my hip. Oh, that's my knee. That's my hip. That's my knee. So I'm basically a comedy actor myself, a one-man act. But no, I just struggle with like the comedy. But I mean, like Xavier and I'm a Kofi guy. Although, why does Kofi look so small lately? Is there something wrong with Kofi? Like, is he getting smaller and smaller? Does he look really skinny? Is it just me? But whatever. I'm a big Kofi. I was happy when Kofi had his moment and stuff like that. And then, I guess maybe they figured maybe they're trying to break Big E away from that, right? They split him out, right? Yeah. It's a different brand, or he showed up there, he went over there, and he came back there, right? Or something of that nature. I don't know, whatever. Maybe they're trying to break him out because Vince McMahon likes bigger guys. Maybe that's the start of shelling a thing. You got these big guys feuding. Maybe he's believable enough to go with Lashley. But it was just hard for me to overlook all the bootios and all the...
Right. So, like... And I get that. But, like, we have to also realize that we're in the PG era. And that is so over, with a much younger demographic. But that being said...
If you can see my face, world out there.
Big E... always consistent in the ring. He always puts on a great match, in my humble opinion. I like Big E. I've liked him since I remember watching him debut with like Ziggler and I'm not remembering.
Yeah. Well, key word is you said Ziggler, right? Because Ziggler's a worker and a half. So anybody that gets in a ring with Ziggler is going to look good if he wants you to. Because he's the man.
He was like his bodyguard. Do you remember that? Like,
okay. So he's a bodyguard. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying Ziggler can wrestle there.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, there's no debating that.
No, I don't know. All right, I'll devote a day this week in cardio to all Big E. Go back and watch all his matches. Try to weed through the comedy stuff. But it's not that I don't dislike him. I'm not even saying he's a bad wrestler or anything of that nature. I just, like, once they all came together in a 3, it was just really hard. Like, it just felt like... He's a big guy. The two little guys, they want to be like comedic and stuff, but I don't know. Maybe that's who he really is. Like when Miro went to AEW as the best man or the best man or whatever it was, and he was playing these video games, right? Okay. That was, I mean, I could blame Tony Khan for that, but I'm not. Because really, that was probably Miro trying to be who he really is.
Genuine,
because that's who he is. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. He's a nice guy like Metal. They're both super nice. Plays the hell out of video games, and that's just who he really is. But that's not what the world wants to see. I think in entertainment, all actors play a role. Sometimes you're an extension of yourself in that role, but you got to play a role of his character, a bank robber, a murderer, a guy with autism, something. You diverse. You play diverse, roles and stuff. A really good actor. So you go out there and play yourself. Maybe that's not what the world wants to see. They want to see this bashing Bulgarian, right? So maybe I want to see Big E as this Brahma bull. No offense, Rock, but maybe I want to see Big E as this big bull. And maybe it was hard for me because I looked at the clips, and maybe it was hard for me to see that because Lashley's been built as this monster, this unstoppable beast from hell. and he's on a thing, and then here comes this guy from doing comedy all this time, blah blah blah. All of a sudden, he just stops him, and they put a match. I put a little match on too. It wasn't just like he took like 3 RKOs and there was some kind of schmoz and Riddle ran off Randy Orton or something, right? Because I didn't see it, but I'm assuming that did not happen, and he just came in and hit him with his Big E finish, whatever it is, but from the clip, it looked as though they had an exchange, like a level of a match to a degree, and then he beat him. He speared him and everything else, but then he did beat Big E. Big E beat him.
Well,
so
I mean, I get that you're maybe not the biggest fan of like the character now, but you know, when he first did debut, I remember his character being drastically different, and who's to say that that's not what they're working towards again? Because like you just said, they split him, so it could they could be revamping.
Revamp's a good word.
Yeah.
Revamp. Anything with vamp in it. It's good. Yeah, no, I'm just saying maybe that, but to glance at that, I was just on that. I was on that. I wasn't cheering for Bobby Lashley. Well, maybe I was.
Maybe you were.
Maybe I were. Because he was showing me some aggression with those tackles in the corner the last week prior to that on the Monday Night Raw in Miami. So maybe I was. Maybe I am. Maybe they got my attention now where I want to see where it goes next. So maybe they did what they wanted to do.
That's what's most important, right?
So they got our attention. Or maybe there was some history made with that.
There was.
Maybe there was history made with that. Because there's been very few black world champions, right? Mm-hmm. And then how many black world champions have beat another world champion?
This is the first.
Become, right?
First time.
So there's a lot of cool things there that happen. So that's like a cool moment. That's a really cool thing. And it's a cool thing that they shared amongst each other to do and break barriers and stuff in the world. I mean, I don't know if it should have been a barrier, but obviously it seems as though it must have been if it's not happened before.
Exactly.
And how many
Which is surprising.
1,000 years of wrestling's been around since the fishermen's and the carpenters and
the butcher, the bakers,
the dude that come up the mountain with the tablet and all that. How far back they've been wrestling.
Oh, that's okay. The commandments. I was like a tablet, like an iPad.
Yeah.
It took me a second. I was like,
he came down. Moses came down with an iPad and said, "These how you shall not steal. Do not hump your neighbor.
Thou must get apple care." Yes.
Right, and no offense to anybody out there in your religion.
No, real quick though, we should just say if you are fasting this week for Yom Kippur, I wish you a very easy fast.
Yes,
okay.
Susan, do you hear that? Very easy fast.
Yes.
That means do not go hungry and kill this vampire.
Please don't. We like him.
And if that's the case,
having him around.
I will leave out early on the road so we can get through this and still be something after.
Amen.
Love you, baby. Susan. All right, so I had to name drop that name.
There you go. You dropped it.
There in case it goes sideways with the fasting, but but that's awesome. So yeah, I'm not knocking Big E at all. He's a great dude. He's super nice, and I'm not knocking his work. I'm just saying. Maybe I'm a Bobby Lashley fan. Maybe I'm just on the Bobby Lashley train, and he's got MVP behind him, and I'm a big fan of that. So maybe I'm just a big fan of what's going on right there. You know,
another guy beat your guy. I get it. I get it.
Maybe.
No,
it's the comedy thing. It bothered me, the whole comedy thing, and it didn't bother me that as Xavier did it. I wasn't invested. Kofi, I was like, whatever, but Kofi really. No matter how much comedy did, he stood out with his athleticism, is saying, like his hops. He's got crazy hops and stuff like that. And and Kofi, he's taking some beatings. He took a beating from Lashley, And I felt sorry for Kofi when that beating went on. I was like, oh, those bombs, this and that. So I just didn't want. I guess I just didn't want to see Big E beat Lashley.
Well, it's a new day. Yes, it is.
Yeah, I guess so. No, maybe it's not.
Raymond's like,
it's a new E. Maybe it's not a new day. It's a new E.
Fair enough.
Do they even refer to Big E as anything the New Day now?
Mm-mm.
So
Do
maybe.
They?
When they came out to celebrate with him afterwards.
Oh, they did.
Oh, they came out and celebrated. Oh, did they come out with the horns and everything too?
No.
All right.
Well, that's good.
But it's his moment though, right? He did have his moment though, right? Like before it came out there, right?
Somewhat.
I'd have went to editing, let him have his moment, cut it, went dark, and let the New Day come out. But camaraderie and I got agita from that heartburn and everything else thinking about them.
No.
It is the PG era, though.
Yeah.
PG era, black blood and whatnot. So that happened. And then I was kind of like, before I came here, right, when I was walking out the door and I was trying to watch it, but I was running around in between, so I didn't get to watch it very well. But So Damian Priest with Matt Hardy. So, you know, I personally like
Jeff.
Jeff. Matt's in AEW. Jeff
Delete
Hardy.
that. Delete.
Jeff.
Go back.
No, we're not
that.
deleting it. Delete. But I don't know. It looked like some awkward move moments in that match. I'm a big Damian Priest fan, and I love Jeff Hardy. But as I watched that match, I got to wonder, was Jeff a little off, or Damian just too big to do the things he was doing to Jeff? Like, I worry about things. So I see this match, Damian Priest, and then I see Jeff Hardy, which I love them both, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jeff, personally, we've been a team. We've worked each other hundreds and hundreds of times. Damian, I just dig him. Love his character. I think he's too happy and talks a little too much with his character where it is now. Like he's like a little bubbly, but maybe that's the PG era thing. Because I think he's a rock star. Oh, and you know, remember what I said? I compared him to the Lestat and Queen of the Dam. I saw one of our YouTube comments. Yes, I read it. I told you I read them. A lot of them, I've been overwhelmed. Thank you for all of them, but I haven't been able to read them all. But somebody said that he did an interview or something that he said that his character was based off of Lestat, Queen of the Dam. Woo.
And you nailed that. But you're like,
just that look.
Smell
The look he
another
was pulling
vampire.
off and everything.
Yeah.
You know, I love some vampire love, some glampires, you know.
Yeah.
Like, so obviously I've given you my man crush on Damian Priest, like so, and then tall, dark. And then you got Jeff, who I love dearly. Like, he's just a great individual, and so I'm watching it, and I just don't know if Jeff's a little off in that match or Damian's trying to do bigger. He's a big guy, and Jeff's considerably smaller. Like, he did like some type of dive out, a rolling dive out the ropes to set up a moment where him and Sheamus had to stare off to have that moment. That was set up. It just looked kind of weird. But then he stepped in over and did like it looked like it should have been like a leg drop that like guillotines your head, you know. So he comes 1 foot. So he's standing on the outside, puts 1 foot in, steps over the top rope, puts 1 foot in, jumps in, and then does like a leg lariat but reverse. So it'd be the inside of the leg. So it turns into like it looks like it should have turned into basically a leg drop, but it came across the body. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know which it was, because I saw they went for belly to back off the top rope, and it turns into a crossbody. Well, to me, as a wrestler, it looked like, man, Damian took a lot of weight. Maybe he didn't, but it looked like he took a lot of weight. An awkward moment across the thing. It didn't like land into it, but maybe that's what they were going for. But as a person that's teaching wrestling stuff, this and that, I'm looking for safety over a lot of things. So they look kind of. So I'm going, I don't know what's going on there. So I worried that, like, still doing shows, and I'm not doing it on that level, but when I see them do it on that level, I go, maybe I'm where I should be, running my weekend warrior stuff. I'm out there, you know, running and gunning Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and, you know, teaching and stuff. Because could I run with a thoroughbred like Damian Priest or Ziggler, like when he's on top of his game, since being mentioned earlier, you know, or even Sheamus, even though I've worked Sheamus and Galloway,
Drew McIntyre.
All in the early years when they were coming out, and I was like running them, but I was still like in my prime and still like I was full of fire and still shooting dynamite or thunderbolts out of my ass, you know, William Wallace. You know,
sounds
like,
painful.
Whatever. The point was I was still full of piss and vinegar, right? And even though at an older age, now I'm 52, and then people get those comments, hey, can you you should go back to AEW, or you should do a run in WWE. I don't know that I should, because I watch matches like that, and I don't know if it was Jeff or Damian. Maybe Damian was slowing down because some of these movesets need to be set up faster out of respect. So I question that a lot. But then you know, you got Jeff in this match. I question, should Jeff be in this match? Where he came out, he did beat Karen Cross, whatever that was, whether that was a message to Karen Cross or a welcome to like the big leagues, and, you know, we're going to be humbled out the gate. I don't know where Jeff was in that match. Like, Jeff, I have loads of respect for and everything, but, I mean, he's still painting his face, comes around. That's really a younger person's character. I mean, I see him more as like, not that he can't work. He does more crap than I could ever do. And he does amazing things, but where should he be used? And then you hear stuff where, and then I guess supposedly Raymond was telling me earlier that there was a lot of heat that he was used in 24/7 because he's iconic. The ladder matches, all the things he's done with his brother and himself throughout the years, and all the injuries taken, he's broke down to being an extra running around in a 24/7 thing.
They're not utilizing him correctly.
So
yeah.
right, so did they throw him in that match because of that? Is that fair to him? That he went online and did a thing saying, "Oh, I'm just happy to be here," blah 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 blah, and the next thing you know, you're in that title match.
I think he needs to start listening to the fans.
Right, but my question is like, I guess I'm analyzing myself like and trying to justify why I'm trying to do a podcast. We are doing a podcast. I'm not trying. It is happening. So we're banging a band with Gangrel. But like, I got some realities to face. That I'm not going back to a major company. Despite, thank you all the people that thinking that I can do that. It's not going to happen. And if it would, it'd be a one-off. It's not a long-term thing. But like, I don't want to see Jeff used in silly ways when he's done such iconic things. Like you said, used the wrong way. I think he should be featured in certain things and featured well, not to be beaten or this and this and that, or not to be exposed if it is him that's getting a little bit older, or he's being beat up and binged up or whatever. So I worry. So I guess I'm watching that, and at the same time I'm searching for answers to make a decision. I have to make a decision on a knee surgery coming up, whether I do it or not. If I do it, I'm done. So I'm not gonna scare anybody in bookings this year, but because I'm slammed to my next weekend off is Christmas. That's my next weekend off. But I have to make a decision soon if I want to do it this year due to some insurance things and stuff like that. That's way more affordable this year than to do it and then not have an income in wrestling and do it later, right? So right now I'm doing very well and life is good. So I'm trying to justify these things. So I watch Jeff and then I start feeling like, well, I'm obviously not going back there. I'm not of that caliber anymore. I could go back and work a gimmick of that caliber and not bump way less and this and this and that. So it's not impossible, but it's not going to happen. If it's going to happen, it would have probably happened by now. So, but I just hate to see Jeff be thrown into that situation. But I don't know if it was him or not. I could have been looking at things awkward. It could have just been two people trying to do some cool stuff that just didn't match up in that kind of way, But I don't know where I was even going with that, but now you got me soul searching myself here. I like talking to people in their houses like, he's about to cry. He's going to have a breakdown. He says there's a lot of weird energy in the air today.
You know who I'd like to see in like a match though, and it's not going to happen because they're on different brands, is Jeff Hardy and Darby Allin.
Right, but see, I think Darby could do that because he's done it with everybody. I'm not the hugest Darby Allin fan in a sense of like killing his body. Like some of the things he does is so thing, but I think with Jeff's knowledge and Darby's balls of courage or lack of fear, they could probably come up with some really creative stuff, like and really structure something really, really cool. Like that could be magical. Like, man, maybe that'd be maybe Jeff leaves. Tags with his brother, has one more run, and then wraps it up with a Darby Allin. Fair for him.
Maybe.
But I'm not saying Jeff's ready to leave. I'm just saying that I don't know if they're like you. I guess you said it right out the gate. They're not using them the right way. That's all. Yeah. But I'm happy for Damian Priest, but I don't know. And I know he was probably really happy with that match because, like, not the match itself, but probably with that matchup when they told him because he's a big fan of all the Brood stuff and the Hardys and that whole era. He's a great dude. So
New Brood,
the new Brood,
anything Brood adjacent, Brood related.
Yeah, anything with some vampires in it. So obviously he's a vampire.
Yes.
He's proven
vampire.
it. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, since we did kind of bring up Darby briefly, why don't we talk a little bit about AEW?
I did not watch it this week.
Me neither. But just one of the things I know Raymond wanted us to mention last week was the idea that, do you think MJF, what was the exact sentiment?
Do you think MJF benefited from the feud with
Chris Jericho?
Hold on, I want to address something. I'm sorry. Can I go back to something?
Hell yeah.
This is another YouTube somebody sent in. Another thing they sent in. All right. They said, no, you got it wrong. AEW's building the star. I said star power, superstars. WWE is building, they build like major stars. Yes, AEW is building, because you made me think of like Darby Allin. Mm-hmm. They're building these newer stars, but they're not focused on building one major superstar. And that was the point with that. So except for MJF, that he is a guy, because when you said MJF, what I'm saying is a guy they had built to be a superstar, right? And he's going through all those levels, and Darby's right behind him in a sense. But they've spread things out all over the place. It's really hard, like WWE through the years, you'll name like Hulk Hogan will always reign with you, right? Bret Hart, it's gonna reign, even though they went there first, but it was WWE or WWF at the time. So
Taker.
It proceeds wrestling, like
they're household names everywhere.
Yeah.
Cartoons, this and that.
I think there's an AEW wrestler
and it wasn't knocking AEW wrestlers this and that. I just said that if you spent 6 months in WWE and you spent 6 months in AEW, people are going to know you. You're a household name from WWE. That's all.
Well, I mean, but we still have to remember that AEW is a baby.
Yep.
So who's to say that in the next couple of years, MJF won't be a household name? We don't know.
No. I'm not saying they're building MJF. Mm-hmm. No, they're building a couple, but it was like, they changed things so much. I don't know if they say AEW is long-term booking, but I don't know. Sometimes I can't figure it out. Do you think it is?
I don't know yet.
I mean, maybe MGF was a long-term project, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like Orange Cassidy here and
there.
He?
Where is he going?
Well,
help me understand it. And I like Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
I've wrestled him. I think he's super talented, and I think he's super respectful. So I'm not knocking Orange Cassidy. I'm just asking you, where do you think they're going with that? Where do you think they're going? Because I've had a conversation with him before he went there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, I liked when they kind of switched it up a little bit when he had the feud with Jericho. I thought that was really neat because it shows, like, he can work a different style. I think that his gimmick is so neat and cool and no one else does it, but I think at some point it's going to have to change. I mean, it has to, right?
Right, so I worked him on, before, just as he had just signed. I don't know if it was even out yet or not. Maybe it was, because I knew about it, and I guess I don't know really. I'm not in a secret loop or anything. I was working him, and then I had to work him, and he was very worried to ask me about doing his kicks and stuff and how to go about that, because like I guess a lot of people had told him like, oh, Gangrel is like old school, he hates that comedy shit. Like, they're right. They are very well right. I am old school, and I do very much dislike comedy. Well, it's not my forte. It's just not my strength, okay? And I stick with my strengths, I'm going to stick with what got me paid and got me to the pay window, you know what I mean? I'm going to stick with what got me there. That's aggression and working hard and a physical style. And I was a big fan of Japan style, Stampede and stuff, that style. It was not very comedy. Now Japan's like all comedy. But when I was coming up, it was very little comedy in Japan, except for the crazy, wacky TV shows where they would jump and like electrocute themselves and ice baths and stuff like that. Some crazy like TV shows, like but the wrestling was like very serious. So he was like really respectful and shy and asked me, and I'm like, and he gave his pitch to me, I'm gonna have my hands are in my pocket. I don't know if you see my character. I said, I've seen it. I've been on a few different shows, So and I said, I know you from before, like when you were just the rest. That wasn't your character, which I believe that character comes from Hot Summer Nights, right? Or was that One Hot Summer Night? It's a show. It's I think it's called Hot Summer Nights. But there's a character on there. It's just like, he's like a sloth. He's like the whole movie. He's got sunglasses on. He's like, like,
now I need to know.
Yeah, you gotta check it out. It's a legit thing. So he's super nice. He comes to me, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm listening. But I had already knew, so I've literally had some older people than me in wrestling, like some that had done some stuff. A couple of them had done some stuff, and one, and there was a few that had, just kind of floated in the indie scenes, but tasted a cup of coffee here and there, right? But yeah, fucking, excuse my language. You're gonna flipping kick his ass. You're gonna show him how it's done. I'm like, okay, like why, but the whole time I'm thinking, man, I did a vampire character, nobody beat me up, like, I did something different. But so I don't really think like that. I think like that if you disrespect wrestling and you're not trained properly, or you're careless with your movements, that you hurt somebody and stuff like that. I mean, I don't judge anybody for a character style. That's just your style. That's who you are. Whether I can work that style or we can meet in the middle and make magic, I don't know. But I'm certainly not going to be mad about your style, unless it's cheapening of like sexual or something, like girls. I don't like that. I'm not a big fan of that. I'll be honest about that. I'm not a big fan of girls coming across like hookers and stuff. Whatever. I mean, the hoes do one thing, but I don't mean like that. I just mean whipping your tits out every show and whatever. But yeah, I mean, I guess they do it in movies, but it's just not my thing. I mean, I'll watch and go, okay, but it's not okay, boobies, but it's not my thing.
Yabies.
It's just not my thing in wrestling, because I think the girls work way too hard to be credible wrestlers, to lose with that. And that's, we talked about that last week.
Right.
There. But so he pitched everything to me, and I was just like, I listened. I don't know what he was thinking, because I was just like, much like Chevy Chase when they were on vacation and he robbed the cash register, and they're looking, look, the Grand Canyon dead.
Oh,
And
I can't watch those movies.
I said, let me go watch the match. And so I go out. This is before the show was started. I go out there and I go, this guy is going through light bulbs. Another guy, literally G-Raver, falls off the top of a ladder, nearly severs his arm off, and there's so much blood everywhere. This and that. And I've seen everything. I seen a dude crawl across the ceiling at his game changer and drop off the ceiling for something. And
okay, Spider-Man?
I saw 30 dives to the crowd, some legitimate, like, serious spot wrestling, like, but like in a good way. So they covered that intense sequences of wrestling ending with dives and this and that. And so like everything from gore, the insanity, to stupidity, to dumbass shit, which is their choice to do it. Like, it's dangerous, but that's what I'm being, like, dumbass. Like, I mean, I'm not knocking the hardcore stuff, because I did it for 2 years. People don't know it. I did Type A Death Glass matches. I've went through more fluorescent tubes than I could ever count, more than higher than I can count. So I've done it. So I'm not knocking it. I've done it, and I made a living for 2 years at it. So I'm not knocking it. It's just a preference. It's an art style. It's what you want to do. There's a time and a place for it. I just prefer not to do it. I prefer pure wrestling as what I like. So I see all this out there, and I come back to him and I go, yeah, that works. He goes, really? I go, there's nothing else to do but comedy. They've done everything. So I said, I'll even put my hands back in my pocket and I'll kick you back. I said, there was nothing else left to do. Could have went out there and grabbed the head, but there's so much blood and glass in the ring, and there's this and this and that. But then here's the point where I get to him, and where I'm at with you is, I go, so you're an AEW? He goes, yeah, man, I'm so lucky. And he was so super excited about it. I go, are you doing this character, the Orange Cassidy thing? Yeah, that's what they want. I go, where are you going to go from there? How long do you think you can do that? And, he's looking, I said, do you exit out of it? Do you think? And he was, eventually what he was saying is he's hoping, like, I don't know when, but it just transferred back into the showing that he's a wrestler, and can actually do some stuff. He's super, like, this and that. So maybe the Jericho thing gave you a glimpse of that, right? So I didn't see that.
Definitely. Oh, it was, yeah. It was.
So like, because I've seen him before, the whole pants and the kick it thing, and he's a good worker. So so I guess his hopes, what he told me, was to slowly transfer into a wrestler after. But you got to ask yourself, is the Orange Cassidy thing so stereotype that will he be able to move on outside of AEW to, per se, a WWE and be accepted? Or
does he want to be?
Or, well, I don't know, but how long? Well, that the back end of that is if he stays in AEW and he tries to change that and become a serious wrestler, and he doesn't do that anymore, will he be accepted? Like, how's that work? It's a slippery slope.
Well, like you were saying, I mean, we've seen character changes with someone like Miro pretty fast. That happened. I mean, well, I feel like they're...
Which they change things a million times faster. Somebody argued with me about, but go ahead.
Well, what I'm saying is if they're comfortable with someone making a change, I feel like they're the company that would allow it.
How long does he go as Orange Cassidy, though, before it's not...
Until
like the Brood, for example, the Brood. 8 months is all the Brood was. Maybe 9. If we would have stayed the Brood for 2 years, would there have been... You can't hold Edge back that long. Or Christian, maybe you could, maybe not. But Edge definitely, they had ideas and plans for him. And everywhere he goes now, the first thing they ask him about, and he'll tell you yourself, is the brood. Like, so imagine if he spent more time than that in there and then tried to change, you know. That's just a little example, but Orange Cassidy is him by himself doing that, and that's what he's strictly known for. Can he? Will he? I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know how much longer. He better start changing. Like, I'm thinking he might need to start changing and revamping, and slowly going into the direction he wants to be in the future, so he can build that before things get out of hand. Because, you know, who knows what wrestling's going to be there in a year there. They went from like, well, we're using all our guys to this and this and that, to like they've hired they got Daniel Bryan's and Bryan Danielson and CM Punk and who else? The stars are coming in.
Adam Cole, Bray Wyatt.
Adam Cole, Raymond saying Bray Wyatt's coming. I guess that's a rumor, right? So it sounds like they're filling up the rosters with the other guys that are established somewhere else. And I guess you said they have their own show, and you said it, Raymond, or you mentioned it, Universal. They're filming Universal,
The Dark, yeah.
The Dark, right? So I guess they got all this and this and that, but I'm thinking at some point a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, right? So
you think they're going to do a roster release on AEW?
How long can you pay all these people?
If you're Tony Khan, forever.
If you're a good businessman, and I'm not saying I'm not saying he's not a good person. Obviously, he's a good person. But a good businessman, or is Tony Khan's money his money, or is it his dad's money? Did Tony Khan invest some stuff, or is that his dad's money he's playing with? Dad, baby, I'm thinking, right? So how long does they go, okay, son, enough's enough. There was a tax write-off. Now it's becoming it's like that movie, what was that, Money Pit, you know? Money Pit. I was just like, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not, everything I hear about Tony Khan is he's a tremendous individual. And everybody goes there, of course they're going to like him when he says, yeah, do what you want. That's great. Like, sure, you have ideas, and somebody tells you your ideas are great when you've been shit on by Vince McMahon the whole time. Like, no, I don't see that happening. Or tell you, yeah, maybe, and then you go there and it's totally been rewritten. You believe all the way up to like 2 days before the pay-per-view you're doing this, and you're like, no, you're not working here. We're pulling that. And that does happen there. That does happen a lot there. You don't have that kind of creative control that they're giving them AEW. So, of course, they're all happy. Mm-hmm. But by far, I'm not saying he's a bad person at all. I think he's probably an amazing human being from everything I've heard from anybody. I've never heard anybody say anything bad about him that I know personally that have exchanges with him. My exchanges weren't bad with him. He was great with me. How long can you do business? You got to answer to the numbers at some point. I mean, you could be a billionaire, but at some point, somebody's going to tell you got to answer to the numbers. You got an accountant or somebody that's going to tell you, hey, you got to cut some dead weight because we need money to go overseas here. We're going to need money here. So if you let these 30 people go, like, what are they even doing? They're on dark. What are they? And these were the people that he probably said, oh, no, we're going to build a company. And it just didn't work like that. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. We all have hopes and dreams, and I know you're a good person just from some of the stuff I know you, but even today, just you're worried about somebody that, you just carry other people's weight. You're carrying it to the point that affects your life, and I'm sure that Tony's like that too. I'm sure that because he told somebody, oh man, we're gonna do this and that, and they're there. He probably sits up. Whether that person, nobody in the rest of the world knows that person. He probably sits up at night going, man, I can't let him down. I can't cut this guy. But numbers say, and are you using this guy? Is that what we need to be doing? You need to cut this guy or cut that guy or cut 30 of these guys and invest the money in the other way to make the company successful more so you can come back and pick those guys back up again later when they're ready. Right. When they're ready. So, you got to make decisions like that. You can't just run with your heart. You can't run a company with your heart and you got to run it with a business module, or it doesn't matter how much money you have. I'll say that to the day I die. And I've on such a minute level, trying to run a school and shows and stuff like that, and people just, oh, can I work your show? And they just show up, and you're like, oh, and you've written the thing out. You've written out a 3-month program. This isn't even TV. You just did this for your student shows. You've written out a 3-month program. You're like, wait, this messes the flow of the show up. This kills the budget this way. And now I got to take from this to add to this, take time from that. And It's not. You got to have a business model, and you got to stick to it. You have to learn no. You got to learn to be able to say no. Not like, no, you're an old guy, and I'm not being bitter or something like that, because they didn't say that, but it's probably been thought. But, well, these young guys, but you got to know when to cut, reevaluate, and say, we're going to loop back to you again, because we want to invest here to be able to grow in a positive way. Not just keep throwing money to keep growing. It just doesn't make sense.
I don't know. Yeah,
Right?
this is another only time will tell scenario.
Yeah.
Because it's still so young, you know? It's still a baby.
And I'm not knocking it by no means. And I almost feel crappy that I got to say that I'm not knocking it because it's like a PC world. But no, it's not.
No,
you got to run it in
say,
a business. You got to run it.
You have to say it because someone could take what you said out of context and then you can be like, look what I said.
Yeah,
this
is not that case at all because I've had nothing but good experiences with them and stuff, you know. But I'm just looking at it as a business sense. You know, everybody's upset with WWE cutting all these budgets. I mean, even catering, I thought that was like, wow. I mean, they're cutting catering, but I guess deep down inside, do I get it? I guess if you're answering to a bunch of other shareholders and a bunch of other people, you got to answer to the numbers. It's a business. Mm. Now, when Vince McMahon owned it, he would lend you money. You could go up to him before it was all corporate and stock and all that. If you were working for him and you said, man, I got behind on my mortgage, I had to pay for my mom's funeral or whatever happened, some disaster, something horrible, or whatever, you're in a spot, whatever it is, he'd personally lend you money and then take it out of your checks throughout a period of time while you worked there. You know, whether that's good or bad for you, I don't know, because he has something on you. But in a business sense, but that option was there, and that's because it was family, man. Mm-hmm. He owned it. Now you're answering to people numbers. Now Tony Khan is a family thing, but at some point it's a business. At the end of the day, and the end of a fiscal year or annual, whatever, there was numbers to be answered to, and demands and expectations from everybody. So. You can throw money and almost fix anything, but it's going to catch up to you somewhere. It's going to catch up. But enough of my rantings about that. All right, so I know it's getting about that time. We got to get to Pandora's box, but let's talk about. I know Raymond had asked us to talk about it earlier, but we kind of got sidetracked because I go all over the place. But Gabe Steveson signing.
Oh
right?
Yeah, that is.
So this guy not only medaled, but he gold medaled in the Tokyo Olympics.
Crazy.
Right? And now he's 21 years old.
He's that young?
He's 21. He's 21, good looking. And he signs a deal with WWE. But he signs a deal with WWE, but yet he's still going to college. He still has one more year for the University of Minnesota. So he signed a deal. Now he's a gold medalist in the Olympics. He still has another year at Division I college wrestling. So he's the champion there. So he's going back to defend that. So he's gonna go to school one more year. So if I understood this right, WWE is gonna set a remote training facility up for him. So while he's not only going to school and he's wrestling in the Minnesota program, he's gonna be training for WWE at 21 years old, and he's a gold medal things. So I think Raymond was asking, how did he compare up to like Kurt Hennig and stuff? I don't think he is anywhere. Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle. Kurt Hennig, rest in peace. Great guy. But it said Minnesota, so Kurt Hennig, Minnesota. Like, a lot of great wrestlers come from Minnesota. Rest in peace, Kurt Hennig. Great guy. Amazing talent. Patted a lot of my bumping after him. But Kurt Angle. So Pittsburgh. Now we're in Pittsburgh. So Kurt Angle. Raymond was asking me, what do you think, and how does that compare up? I go, well, I don't know. He's 21 years old. Kurt Angle was. I don't think he's 21, but he's already grizzled. He had a broken neck. He won the Olympics. He medaled with a. Did he get a gold too, Kurt? Yeah, gold medal with a broken neck. Yeah. My mind's losing it. So, they have that in common. But 21 years old, he's still in college. His body's good. I don't know what he's gonna do. I haven't seen him in a professional ring and what he's done, but he's got a well of a head start on Kurt. Kurt went through ECW. And came in, and then he debuted in WWF at the time. But he did some ECW runs. And Kurt was hella committed. He's taking chair shots. He's going that whole Attitude Era, which was a rougher on your body, definitely harder on your body era, because we were just trying to out-top each other, one another. But plus, he also went through that ECW program when it was actually ECW in Philly. So. He did come a harder route and this and that. Now, being a PG era, being young at 21, still going to college, and then you're going to get remote training. I think he's got a head start on Kurt.
I feel like they must really be invested in him if they're willing to, let him still wrestle for college and build this remote training.
Hey, he won a gold medal in the Olympics. What else do you need? That's street credit, right? That's all the street credit you need right there. Street credit, hustle credit. Put me on USA Network credit. That's the Willy Wonka's golden ticket. But he worked hard to get that ticket. It wasn't a lottery to get the ticket and random luck. He busted his ass. He's wrestled. He's a Division I champion, and now he's a gold medalist. He's going back to college to Minnesota to defend that division championship, and he's now WWE employee, or maybe he's an individual contractor. I don't know, but he's there. He's part of the three-ring circus now. So, but he's still got that. So I think he's well ahead. Kurt's a great guy. Like I said, it was more a physical error and a lot harder on the body. Plus, he had already had the broken neck and stuff like that. So, I think the only similarities is the gold medal in the Olympics. But. I think this kid...
Pretty big similarity.
Kurt was a good wrestler, though. I don't know. I haven't seen Gabe wrestle yet. So maybe I can't comment on the similarities wrestling-wise. Maybe there's video out there. There must be something, but I haven't seen it. So have you?
No. Well, what about like Mark Henry? Because he was also Olympic.
Strongest man. He was powerlifting and stuff like that, right? If I was correct. Mark Henry's just a beast. But Mark was. It was a tough transition for him. Now he understands wrestling, but you do it every day of the week. You're on the road every day of the week, and Mark Henry worked with great workers that Owen Hart and D'Lo's a great worker when he tagged with D'Lo, but then there's the Godfather, Undertaker, all these guys. He learned under the learning tree of all these like great guys and then some. That I didn't even mention. There's just so many. Now it's a different era of wrestling. Generational wise, it's different style, but I think they're gonna invest in him. He's legitimate. I mean, they got Brock. They can't keep Brock forever. Maybe he's the next Brock Lesnar.
That's a big statement.
Well, I don't know. How long's Brock going to do it? I mean, you can go out there and kill people for a while before it takes a toll on your body. I don't know. Destroying people with, what is it, the F5s is too hard on your body. But you got, who's Brock feuding now? Roman Reigns or something? Is that what's going on?
Looking like it.
Yeah, it's probably made Raymond happy there.
You happy? It's not Undertaker. I don't know if you could,
Yeah, but he's heard the rumors Undertaker's coming back or something,
yeah,
so he's probably happy about that.
Yeah.
Here, the scutterbugs amongst you dark net people or whatever's going on out there.
Pandora's
Dark
box?
web. Yes, what's in the box?
What's in the box?
But I just wanted to bring that up. I know you wanted to talk about it, but congratulations, Gabe Steveson, on your journey into professional wrestling. Please finish college out strong. Do not let it affect your college wrestling and college career. And further that education, so you know what to do with that money, my man.
There's a lot in here.
Is that box heavy? Whoa, is our souls just heavy today?
No, Raymond was writing these out for like 30 minutes before we started.
Oh, that's because he was translating like, that's in the box.
All right. Whew. Okay, we'll get through as many as we can. You ready for the first one?
Not really.
These are all about Vampiro this week. No, I'm just kidding.
What the hell?
Okay. This is from Trill Sam 12. Who's your pick? Kenny Omega or Roman Reigns? Kenny was recently crowned #1 wrestler in the world, and Roman came in at #2.
If I was going to go on wrestling, just as wrestling, Kenny Omega, if you're just going on wrestling stuff. You're going on overall entertainment, show business, and wrestling, the whole total package, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to lean to Roman Reigns.
Oh, okay.
But Kenny Omega as a wrestler, just if like AEW's wrestling, they just go wrestle, right? I would say Kenny Omega. When it comes down to the wrestling skill about it.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny Omega, when he was in New Japan, was just like, oh my God, what a standout, obviously. I mean, he was, I would go Kenny.
Yeah.
I think what he's doing now is interesting. It's not my favorite thing, but I get it. But I miss...
the chops.
Yeah, like I get it. But, yeah, I don't know.
Old Don Callis and all that. But yeah, no, the wrestling, pure wrestling alone, if you just said, hey, wrestling, I'd go Kenny Omega. But if I'm looking at the overall packages and where everybody stands this past year, where they're at, and the angles and everything, then I go Roman Reigns.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. This one, our buddy.
Curve Solo? What, do you have a thing for Curve Solo? Because you're
last week.
All right.
He missed last week? How dare he? Well, welcome back.
There's hundreds of YouTube comments in there and questions. Right?
Listen,
I love him.
No, nothing against Curb. What's up, Curb?
Okay.
He just likes hearing us try to say his name. Curb
Solo. I think we got
Solo.
it. Studio.
Yeah. Susan hates Phil Collins. I don't know how she. Well, not hate. I don't like. She just likes Phil Collins. I don't know how. But.
Genesis too.
Yeah, even that. Yeah, but she likes Peter Gabriel. So at Genesis. I wanna be your sledgehammer.
Oh, such a good song. Oh, we're gonna have to do we'll do a karaoke show, a
I
wing
got
show.
something in my ear. What's going on?
Okay, well, it's Curve so solo. Did you have more fun working house shows or TV tapings? And can you tell us some of the differences between the two?
Oh, by far, house shows. House shows because you don't have a leash on you. You don't have TV. There's no margin for error. You know, it's not like movies, sets, this and that, where you film something 6 angles this way, 6 angles that way, 6 angles this way, and it's all one thing. It's one and done on TV. So you got to get it right. You need to know where you're going with everything, and the pressure is just really, really on you with TV. This is a lot more pressure. It's just a high stress situation. But definitely house shows because there's no leash on you. You know, they give you like 15 minutes. You go out there and you do what you do well, and that's where you get to tell a little bit longer matches with more storytelling and stuff like that, and have fun out there. The house shows are by far way more fun. You know, TV's you live forever on TV. It's on film, right? So that's the great thing about that. But when you're just asking about which one do you have more fun prefer doing, house shows by far.
Cool. All right. Got your answer, Curve Solo. We look forward to seeing what you come up with for next week, seeing as now you're part of this thing. Okay. This one is from Bertov. Okay. Bertov. I often hear stories about wrestlers going into business for themselves. Do you know any of the stories that has worked out in the wrestler's best interest?
Well, there's a lot of ways of looking at going into business for yourselves. Like, are you asking, like, did they bury another wrestler to get themselves over, or did they go behind their back to the promoter? I don't know. There's so many ways to look at it, but I could tell you one that's positive that involves me. It's not a negative thing, and it's a compliment, but it could be looked at. It could easily be looked at as going into business for themselves by the promoter or producers or something like that. So I'll give you the quick rundown on that. So it involves me and Adam, Edge, and Christian, and Doc Hendricks, and whatever. So this is one of our first times to speak as the Brood. I don't think Christian had speaking line, but me and Edge had speaking lines. And it was a Doc Hendricks interview. I think it's where we gave him a bloodbath and stuff. So they literally gave us both like 3 sheets of paper. Full. I remember trying to read the dialogue, and I would go, Adam, Edge, what does this mean? Like, I can't even pronounce this. What does that even mean? He goes, I don't know, buddy. He's like, so I don't know, buddy. Look at my stuff. And he had some complex stuff too. I'm like, what is this? Like, and then I sat there and I would have to go and I would try to look up, find something, or I'd go ask somebody for certain things. And with the fangs in, some of these words were like nearly impossible to pronounce, to enunciate. You know, I'm like, fucking dash, you know, like, it's like there's spit everywhere. So I'm like, man, I was struggling with them, but I didn't want to let anybody down. This is what they asked of me, right? You know, so, and you know, it's first promo, and so, and I still didn't know how to. I didn't know how to just be an extension of yourself throughout promo. I didn't understand that, you know. Didn't do a lot of promo stuff before that. To like, you'd always try to put a mean voice in, you know. I didn't know how to just talk or just deliver, you know. So on top of that, not even understanding what these words some of them meant, and so how you would use them or put an enunciation on it or a facial expression along with it, or so I read it, I go through it, and I see Edge reading his. He's like, Bob, I'm always reading, and then So, okay, we're going to go. So we get out there, and I go horribly through my monologue. Horribly through the monologue. Blah, 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 blah. Leaving half of it out, because I'm like, fuck, is that supposed to... Like, I don't even know what I'm talking about. I don't even know what it is, because it's not me. And it wasn't anything I had foreseen. I had no idea what's going on. So I get through it. I'm like, oh God, thank you, I'm done. Like, you know, like in my head, you know, but you're out there trying to be cool, but literally you're like a duck on the water. You're like, you're looking smooth here, but inside everything's just like, oh God, that sucked. It was terrible, man. Why did I even do that? I should just not talked at all and just went with whatever. And then here he goes, Edge goes, and I'm like, oh, let's see how he does. So he starts out with it, like a little bit of it, scrubs it. And he just says, and beware and take care because the freaks come out at night. What the fuck's always remembered out of that now? They always say the freaks come out at night. Mm-hmm. Even dropped that on was it SmackDown when he did the thing with Rollins, the bloodbath. Mm-hmm. He threw all that monologue out. He just threw it out. So he took a gamble and it paid off. But, you know, he was going to be all right no matter what he did because they were like invested in him. But he's good, but he was smart. He went and he took a chance. And I guess you could say that's going into business for yourself. But he took the chance and he won. I was so mad. I was like, mother, well, I could have said that. Beware, take care, you know. Want some, get some, bad enough, take some, all in 24/7, you know. I could have did anything that's me, that's more naturally me. I mean, you know, more of my hashtags and stuff are out of like the 80s rapper Drama or something. I don't know. Lay, right, get on up. You know, want some, don't start no shit, won't be no shit, want some. That's just who I am. That's where I grew up. That's what I listen to. That's just me, right? So I could have made that work somehow. And, but damn it all. He just went, beware and take care. Remember the freaks come out at night or something like that. Damn if people don't still say that.
You sure do.
So, yeah, you can look at that as that. But I was happy though. It was great. It saved the segment and boom, but that solidified that, yeah, that dude's the star of that group, right? Which is cool. He always was. They knew that and I knew that too. And that was awesome. But I don't know if that answers your thing. I don't really have any experience. I could tell you, people try to go on themselves. It really doesn't really work out that well. I mean, the Clique was a whole faction that went into group for themselves and did the whole thing. I mean, they were united, they stand, you know, divided, maybe they'd fall. I don't know. Hunter runs the company now, so you tell me. but that's just my personal little experience. You know.
Who's your favorite rapper or rap group?
You know, I like Ludacris a lot. I don't know. Favorite rap group, but we can go all the way back to like 80s because I'm always we did Rappers Delight in here, so you know.
Yeah, I think they want more.
But Slick Rick, I like Slick Rick too. I like a lot of the older stuff, you know, the first coming on the scene stuff like that. But then you know, then there's soul singers and stuff like yesterday in class, the whole time was Rick James. I had Rick James on the whole time. Rick James, bitch.
Yeah.
You know, Chappelle and was it Charlie Murphy made that so iconic. Then Rick James owned up to it. He just took it and ran with it, and then he passed away. But yeah, he's a trouble mess, Rick James, man, with all the stuff going on. But
man,
Rick James.
Yeah, we'll have to do like another like rap beatbox thing. I remember I tried to learn that song Godzilla from Eminem.
Yeah. Oh, Godzilla. Like Eminem.
I tried to learn that.
I still like a lot of DMX. I still like DMX.
Oh.
Yeah, from the hood to the wood. From the hood to the wood. R.I.P. DMX.
R.I.P. All right. Back to Pandy. We ready for some more?
What's in the box?
What's in the box? Okay. This is from Taz23_. Okay. So, have you ever been to Wrestler's Court, or do you have any backstage stories about it?
No, I don't believe I've ever been to court. If I have, I probably didn't remember it because I was drunk or something.
What is it? I don't even know what it is.
Well, it's a court. Yeah, it's hard to explain. Well, it's not hard to explain, but I just don't want to mess it up because I don't want to end up in court for explaining the court wrong. So like, it's an intense thing to explain. No, let's say you went into business for yourself, like on something, like, and you buried somebody else, well, somebody bring charges up on you amongst the thing, and then you would have somebody, so somebody accused you of something, so whatever, going into business for yourself, right? So now they got to come up with a judge. Usually, if it was WWE, it's the Undertaker.
Okay.
Right? And then you could go get right to counsel, and they'll have somebody else the guy that brought the case up against you is probably the guy that's going to try to argue his side or whatever. You go, and then you have some wrestlers there, and they're listening to it too. You can have some witnesses or whatever. It's like court, but then ultimately, the judge will decide. Usually, if I can recommend to anybody that gets caught up in it, just plea out, like just offer up a case of beer or whatever you think, a bottle of Jack. Just
hear me out. A court show with Undertaker as Judge Judy.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. Because like Susan watches Judge Judy all the time, so I come on, I turn the TV on, it's on the DVR thing. I'd be like, Judge Judy.
I love her.
I used to watch some Judge Judy. I used to think she was cute too.
She
cute,
is
man. Yeah,
cute.
She's cute, Judge Judy.
It's because it's like this little lady, and she's saying, that's hearsay.
But I have seen a lot of courts in England. Have
you?
Yes,
You have?
and 80% of those cases ended with somebody naked or in a thong running down the freeway for like a mile.
What kind of court?
Their punishments is they delivered out miles, but it wasn't just a mile in your clothes. It was a mile like barefoot and in a thong, naked on the side of the road.
Naked?
While the van's riding behind you, and the whole van of the wrestlers are in there like just cheering you on. Hey, like cars are going by on the freeway honking. I've seen had a guy run through the center of town. We came into a town and he'd done something. He was late for the meet. Like, hey, everybody's supposed to be here at 1:00. It shows up at 1:20. Well, 1:20 in England, in the UK, it is a lot of traffic. That 20 minutes could be add another hour, depending upon if you're trying to beat an M3 or the M4 or something like that. So, man, it has a case out, and a lot of these guys would argue it, but like I imagine if a case was brung to me, I would just try to I'd go the money route out and try to offer up booze or something and buy my way out of it really quick, because I'm not going to make the mile, and I don't think anybody wants to see me running naked down the highway. A thong, maybe. When I had abs, I'd probably run down the highway naked. I wouldn't have cared, but I don't think they want to see my Darby, my belly bouncing, and my boobs and belly bouncing. I'd be like, damn, is that a BC cup running on the highway? What's going on? Those boobs or moobs? What is that? Oh, I see a little thing down there bouncing. Oh no. Whoa, those aren't his thighs. Those are just grapefruit on that old man's. They don't want to see that. Anything you can just hear now and picture, nobody wants to see that. So I just do everybody, the world a favor, anybody that's possibly going to be on any of those highways a favor, and plea out and buy a bottle of Jack or a case of beer.
Okay. I just did my Jim from The Office where I looked directly into the camera. Okay, anyway. All right. One more? Do we have time for un mas? Okay, you ready?
Sure.
Let's see if this one is also from Curve. Okay.
I'm so tired.
Ditto, but I think this has been a really fun show.
Yeah, I'm tired of thinking about running a mile naked too.
This is from _6 Kid. You had a match against X-Pac at Royal Rumble.
Kid. Oh,
yeah.
I see what's going on there.
Yeah. So you had a match against X-Pac at Royal Rumble 1999 when there was a false finish. Did you guys get any heat backstage? And who took the blame for the baton? Does it say baton?
Oh, botch.
Botch.
Oh, it says botch. There was no baton. There's a botch. Gangrel, X-Pac, or Teddy Long?
I think we talked about this before. I'm almost positive we talked about this before. I think we all should take the blame. I mean, they put the heat on Teddy because he did the count, right? But ultimately, it was a move between me and X-Pac, and the roll through got kind of botched, and so there was the shoulders up or down, whatever. I remember exactly, but I think Teddy stopped the count, and everybody was under the impression that I should have won, been European champion and stuff. I've heard Bruce Pritchard talk about it, and I guess he put it on Teddy Long. He talked about how that took the air out of the arena in that match. It was like right before the Royal Rumble or something like that. So I think because I was in the Rumble and so was X-Pac later. So they kind of blame Teddy, but I don't. I blame. It's all three of us. There's three people in a match. You can't. He was put in a tough spot. Was he going to do count 3 and then switch the title? Although what people didn't realize is I was supposed to win the title of that match, but some stuff went down backstage, and I was innocent. But I instead of going to court, I took the plea with Vince McMahon, and he was going to fine me, but I didn't get fined because I was actually innocent. They knew I was innocent. I was just caught up in a group of people that weren't. But one of the punishments I did was not win that European title. Yeah. And I think Luna, she was caught up in that group too. And I believe she worked Sable or somebody that night. She was supposed to win the women's title, and that got changed too. But that's just circumstances, and you could look at it and say that's all hearsay, but I was there and I know. But as to who to blame and who got blamed, I think they blamed Teddy. But it was all three of us, so I think all three of us own it. And maybe X-Pac's the most innocent out of it because it was probably me that didn't get the roll through clear enough. I gotta have to go back and look at it, but I'm pretty sure I know I felt horrible about it, so I'm thinking like maybe I was to blame more than anybody. But it's three of us because it's the count, it's a situation thing. It's unfortunate and it happened,
Word. I mean, but isn't it interesting? Like, do you think that's something that needs to keep being brought up even? I mean, it was one match of your thousands of matches in a career.
Well, okay, but they bring it up and I look at it. Yes, I can look at it the way you're looking at it. Mm-hmm. But I also look at it, thank you for caring enough that you're watching that one thing that you're watching that match and that you were studying wrestling. You were invested enough to realize, and this is a thing. And
I'm just saying,
do I want to remember it over and over? No.
That's what I'm asking. Yeah, that's what I want to know. It's like,
no, but like, it is what it is, and good or bad, they're talking about you. That means they're still watching, and they still care, and they sent the message in. So, thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you. But no, it's all. I blame everybody. There's three people in a match. If it's a singles match, there's three of you.
33.33 repeating percent.
What are you doing, Steiner math now?
Yeah. You have a 10%. Oh, God, that's so funny.
But, I guess that's what's in the box. And probably that's it because I don't know if it's time's up or not. But I know I got a tight schedule today. And this is episode 17. So
yeah, next week we're legal.
So we're
next week we're 18.
18, okay.
Yeah, woo.
18's legal in Florida?
I don't know.
I don't even want to go there. We're not even going to go there. I'm 52 years old and I'm getting married. It doesn't matter what legal is. Because I'm on my own journey and path now, too. Yes. So, awesome. Thank you, Miss Kid Cadet.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for the rundowns on the FSW, right?
FSCW, yeah.
FSCW. I always mess that up.
It's okay.
And what went on. Thank you for the updates on the students. Covered a little bit of Gabe Stevens. We covered a lot of...
Big E.
Big E. We got a little bit of Lashley, but it involves Big E. The title change there and stuff.
Orange
Cassidy, Jeff Hardy, with of course my dude Damian Priest, and I also covered my love again for Matt Riddle and the Arcade Bros. Arcade Bro.
Okay, bro.
So yeah, I'm strangely enough we'll watch all that stuff now. What's wrong with me or what's going on? But I am fascinated by Arcade Bro. I don't know,
they
man.
Gotcha.
Even the little scooters, and I hate the little scooters when I see them on the side of the road. I literally don't take me seriously, but I think would anybody notice if I just went boom, turned the steering wheel and it bumped them off the edge of the road?
Well, probably all.
But I wouldn't do that. Don't get me wrong. But I feel bad because I even have that thought. But that's how much those things annoy me. But they come out on it, or Riddle comes out. I'm okay with it. So I don't know what's going on, man. I'm in a midlife crisis. Yeah. Is where you get to the point and you buy a Corvette, out of nowhere.
Are you gonna get a Corvette?
No, if I had the money, I might would, but no.
Would that be the car?
Well, yeah, if it was gonna be a Vet, it would be like a Stingray, an older one, Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah, classic. But I'm thinking the Crisis and a Meltdown, maybe in an old plum purple Barracuda or something like that,
Okay.
69, 68, something. Cool. Some kind of muscle car and stuff like that.
Fun.
To represent my era.
Okay.
Remember we broke down cars in the wrestling and your style and whatever. Yeah. But you know what? Thank you, everybody. Thank you for hanging in there with us. Gangrel, kicking that, and fanging and banging. What Gangrel, kicking that? Want some?
Get some.
Bad enough.
Take some. Bye, buddy.